stream is going. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Today's gonna be a nice, kind of quiet day, but hopefully still gonna be an enjoyable one. We're gonna be doing some more Powerwash Sim too. It's kind of been my cozy go-to game. Done a touch of achievement hunting. Nothing too crazy. Just gone back to a couple, 1 or 2 levels. Just gonna get things set up over here. Make sure the music is good. There we go. Alrighty. So we've got music, we've got the game. Gonna maybe pick out some cosmetics. Oh, there's so many weird things here. But yes, we're just going to be continuing the career mode. We got up to... We have a mission from the... the mayor that I absolutely despise. Who wants us to assist in cleaning off his blimp that supposedly was totally clean before he went to go check in on the protests and things that are happening around our giant statue that has its gem stolen. But yeah, we'll see. Alright. That down there. Yeah, there does seem to be a little bit of stuttering tonight. I'm not sure why, because I've not really changed any settings or anything. So hopefully that's not going to be too much of an issue, but we're going to keep an eye on it. See how things go. And worst case scenario, if it ends up being too much of a problem, it just may end up being a bit of a shorter stream night. But for the moment, at least, it seems like things are going to be okay. Let's actually switch over to the game. Don't need that. There we go. But yeah, so here's our little room so far. Decorating up all the furniture. Not too much in here. I think I actually have a couple of furniture things. Yeah, I still have a couple of furniture items to actually focus on cleaning. Whee! Yeah, I think the last one I did before was the lawyer's house. So if you're familiar with the Powerwash Sim storyline, the career path, that is the last one that I've done. And the lawyer basically said, well, there was not a legal transfer of ownership for the cat, so the cat is still technically the mayor's. To which I say, phooey! We've been taking care of the cat for the last few years, according to this storyline. It's my cat now. You told me it was my cat, you didn't want the cat, it's my cat. You're not allowed to take the cat when you want the cat to wear pretty hats. She is a hardworking mother of 2. And she has babies, damn it! Okay, there we go. That's sort of a... Just looking for where the rest of those... Locate the dirt. Found those last little bits. It's still saying I have so much percentage miss. Oh, okay, it's like this down here. There we go. Come on. Alright. Now we get our big fancy chair. I suppose we should put it by the... Feels like something that would go by the piano. There we go. So you have a big fancy chair to play the piano. I don't know why all the furniture in this game has like ice physics when you stand on it. It just does not want you to actually stand on the furniture. But, alright, we're gonna go to the airship. And continue. I think last time I was here, I drew like a big... Yeah, I drew a big frowny face on the side. I've done a little bit of this level. Also gonna do another... The ye old classic. Because found out that in this game, the time lapses are completely diegetic, as in your character actually sends them to the client, which means just gonna leave that up there. Thank you, Ulysses, for your wonderful supervision of this blimp that apparently has your face on it. We are going to continue power washing. But yeah, so the storyline so far is, in the previous game, there's this large volcano, tried to destroy the town, that we ended up... At first we thought was just natural, the volcano was just getting ready to erupt. Turns out it was actually a billionaire. Why, hello! Hello, sheepy boy! I was just talking about the story of Powerwash Sim. How are you doing tonight? I hope you are doing well. Yeah, awesome, that's good to hear. I'm also doing quite well. Just started up the stream. First level of the night. Talking about how much I absolutely despise the mayor in this game. As is quite apparent as on the side of his blimp. You know, gotta give him a nice angle. Ah, no worries. Happy to have you. Yep, I have a pretty consistent schedule over here on Twitch, so once you get the notifications on, you know, I stream pretty much every day other than Mondays and Thursdays. And I usually stream kind of in the afternoon EST time, though I do Fridays and Saturdays, I try to stream a little bit later. I do have it scheduled on my actual Twitch channel, so you can see if you go to the schedule portion of the channel, it will show you what times are coming up. It should have it automatically switched to your time zone. If it's a different one, I'm on Eastern Standard Time. But if it's a different time zone, it'll be switched to yours. And it should also show you what game I'm playing, like currently going through Deltarune. Though I do occasionally, I like to have some chill streams as well, because sometimes I just need a cozy game where I'm just power washing a guy's blimp that I hate. So that means you're 1 hour behind me is the thing. So that's the only thing is with the time zones is just that the way that Twitch does it is it will always display what time the person will be streaming for you. So it should say that my stream started was scheduled to start at 6 for you. Even though that's not the time that for me that it started. That's basically how it goes. It's very nice like that. It means you don't have to do the mental math of, well, if it's 7 for this person, it's 6, you know, they're 1 hour ahead of me, so it's 6 for me, you know. That kind of math. Because nobody likes doing that math. It's never fun. I have friends that are over on the other side of the sea, and so we do that math a lot. The thing is, oh. Ah. So you're having to deal with the different time zones just from that. Okay, so normally we're in the same time zone then. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying your time at your grandma's. Visiting family is always nice. Or, well, can be unless they're drama. Which, you know, everybody's got a family member, or at least one that causes drama. No, it thankfully, yeah, that's not a huge difference, so... Cleaning up the sun. Ah. I'm sorry to hear that. Do I have sound? Oh, for Powerwash Sim, I do have sound effects off. I just have the music going instead. Because the water effect in particular, it happens to bother my partner. So I've gotten used to playing it without the water sounds. Nothing to watch on YouTube this whole year. I, for one, will not be blaming the security horse for the heist of the gems. It's an elite unit, and how anyone got past him is almost beyond imagination. So don't we all switch off from time to time? I'm a little concerned who the security force was that they were having protecting the gems. Yeah, so if you're not familiar with this game, there's this statue that essentially is protecting this entire town from a volcanic eruption, and somebody stole the gems and stuff that were powering it, so now everybody's like, ah, so the volcano's gonna erupt. We have no idea. Other than the mayor sucks. This mayor is the absolute worst. Jeff Jefferson the 13th is absolutely terrible. Oh, Powerwash Simulator has lore. Powerwash Simulator has lore. That's the best part about this game. It's a Powerwash Sim. It absolutely is just a Powerwash Sim, but it's got lore. It's got story to it. The final level has you cleaning the lost city of Atlantis to save the entire town from a volcanic eruption that a billionaire started because he wanted to mine ore that he learned about from his obsession with said lost city. That's one of the things I find really fun about it. Is just, on the one hand, it is just a power wash sim, you know? It's just a very chill game. You get to just have fun with it. I play it like a maniac, apparently. But that's just because I have ADHD, you know, I have brain that can't sit still and just goes wherever. but it also has a story to it, and a pretty well put together story at that. I quite enjoy. You learn about all of the different characters. It's this town called Muckingham, which is a very funny name for a town that a Powerwash Sim game is based in. But you get to learn about all these different people in the town, and you actually start to see how, like, across the different games, so this is Powerwash Sim 2, this is kind of a multi-year time skip from the first game. And you actually do get to see how your relationship has developed with some of the characters that come back from the first game. Like, I still despise the mayor. A large portion of the first game was us trying to find his cat, and him spending all these resources trying to find this cat. And eventually, like, he gets the whole fire department on it. Like, he is using all these things. But he's basically doing this to cover up some shady business dealings he had with this crazy billionaire guy who was, you know, trying to do all this illegal stuff that was going to lead to the destruction of the town. So, you know, not fun stuff. And he eventually he gets to a point where he's so fed up with looking for this cat that he goes, hey, by the way, if you run into the cat's yours. And then at the end, with lots of nonsense, you know, via things like not quite aliens, but sort of kind of aliens, actually time travelers, lost city of Atlantis, ancient civilization of Aqua people, all this stuff, you eventually save the town, and also the time travelers give you the cat, who now has 2 babies named Bubbles and Squeak. But now in this game, the mayor wants the cat back because he's doing this big town of the year initiative to try and bring all these towns together because he's now the county's mayor. And he's like, yeah, by the way, I want my cat back. It's like, no. You said my cat. So it's my cat now. No takesies backsies. What's next? The earth explodes? You know, in this game, it very well could. It very well, we'll see, here's the thing though. It would end up being something along the lines of, the earth is going to explode, everything is about to go to ruin, we need to get this particular reactor up in order to save the earth, but it's so covered in gunk that nobody can get it to work, so we need to get the local power washer in order to fix it. Because apparently the only one that can save the entirety of the universe is this guy with some pressurized water. Which apparently, like, is a well-known fact in this second game. They're, like, we are known as just basically the town hero in a way, who also still just power washes, because that's just what he likes to do. Average job. Yeah, just the 9 to 5, you know? Exolumix. How soon can you get to Flamerol, boss? Either the seized up cement mixture comes unstuck or I do. Alright. So we've got a cement mixer. So if we want to, we could just leave this blimp unwashed. Oh, well, that's gonna bother somebody. I'm not very good at standing on these platforms. I always manage to fall. Whee. But yeah, that's kind of the fun thing though about this game, is that a lot of these games that are just simulators, they very well just kind of, they start and end there. They just are, you know, this is a simulator game. Oh, no, okay, so the governor, they're 2 separate people. He's working with a shady billionaire. Yeah, the 2 are in cahoots. The mayor is completely incompetent. He's working with a guy who's significantly better at his job. The mayor is just kind of getting pulled along for the ride. Getting used for his position, so to, you know. But no, it's this other guy. His name is... and I absolutely both love and hate the name that they chose for the billionaire. So the mayor is Jeff Jefferson the 13th. Significantly, you know, reasonably posh. Reasonably just douche sounding. The mayor, the billionaire that he works with is Blake Thrust. Okay, so Slime Crime is from Slime Rancher. It is an inside joke from when I play Slime Rancher, where basically whenever something happens that would be considered criminal in the real world, like kidnapping, murder, things like that, you can put that in and there's a Slime Crime counter that goes up. Because when we first started playing, it started to very quickly become apparent that I am a bit of a criminal menace to the far, far range. Yeah, no, Slime Rancher... Yeah, the first game, a lot of the achievements that I don't have are the ones that are locked behind rush mode. I know there's a couple that I don't have that are just some of the weird ones, like there's a slime ball one that I don't have that's a little difficult. There's the like have 30 slimes in a corral, which I just hadn't bothered to do the setup for yet. But I think, like, the vast majority of the achievements I don't have for the first game are all related to the, rush mode. Ugh, it's looking so much better already. Except for the fact that it's owned by the mayor. Oh, yeah, the gold slime trophies. That's impressive. There's a lot of those. And some of them are really darn expensive, because I know there's a couple at least in the... Are you talking about... I assume you were talking about Slime Rancher 2? Or are you talking about the first game? Oh, you're talking about the first one? Yeah, the second game's fun. I just know that I've really been stalling out on the end game, the grinding. Thought it would never come out. Well, it's out now! You gotta get on it, sheepy. It's been fun. If you like the first game, you'll definitely like the second one. Even just the simple act of not having... Oh, there's definitely gonna be DLCs. The simple act of not having the gadgets locked in place, like you can just put them anywhere, is just a game changer. Yeah, you also get the science resources for the gadgets way earlier. You've seen a whole playthrough? Yeah. Yeah, but I assume there's gonna be DLCs, or, well, I don't... I have played Hollow Knight. I've not fully finished Cuphead or Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's actually one of the games that I am probably gonna stream, because I do want to finish Hollow Knight, and then I also want to play, Silksong. At the moment I'm playing through the Dark Souls games with my partner. Yeah, 109% on Hollow Knight. That's great. Yeah, I want to finish Hollow Knight. It's just one of those games that I think there was another game that came out. That's okay. The exact percentage doesn't matter. It's still really impressive either way. Yeah, I definitely know. I know the most that I've like, I would say the hardest games that I've dealt with are Souls-likes. I know that I played Hollow Knight when I was kind of getting out of high school, going into college. So, and I wasn't as familiar with Metroidvanias at the time. So, I think now I probably would have a better time with it. And that's why I want to... It's in my list of games that I definitely want to stream. As well as going through Silksong. Because I know I've definitely been very excited to play Silksong. No worries. I am a creature of the ocean. I have no quarrel with pirates. I completely understand. One thing I think we can all agree on is that the statue is practically worthless now, so there's no 0 point in a security force hanging around. Oh, congratulations! Didn't want to wait. Yeah, that's from it's a thing called Spirit City. It's a game, it's on Steam, but it's more so it's a tool for keeping you motivated, keeping you doing stuff. Very cute game. I definitely highly recommend taking a look at it if you have need of a good tool for keeping yourself motivated. I do know about Geometry Dash. I do indeed. I probably have several hundred hours in Geometry Dash. At least over the course of my entire life. I wouldn't say I'm particularly good at Geometry Dash. I'm definitely not someone who can do, like, insane demons, but... I do quite like Geometry Dash. It is one of the first, I would say... I classify Geometry Dash as a rhythm game. It is... Even though I know it's not the traditional rhythm game. So... Oh, wow, nice. Yeah, no, I am definitely not at that level of playing. It's a platformer, yeah, is probably... The platformer is the most basic. I guess I always think of it as a rhythm game partially because a lot of the maps you can get a lot better with the platforming by learning the rhythm of the song that they're set to. And in my mind, if learning the rhythm of the song or having the rhythm in your mind is helpful for playing the game, that's kind of what classifies it as or at least, it is at least partially a rhythm game to me. Even if it's not purely that, for sure. But yeah, it ultimately led into my interest in rhythm games, which led me to things like Muse Dash, which is the game I currently play. Oh, nice. Yeah, I am nowhere near that good. There's probably a point where I wouldn't mind learning how to play demons, but, you know, for context, you know, I've never beaten, like, Theory of Everything 2, or, yeah, I think that the farthest I've gotten in the Rob Top levels, I want to say, is Electroman Adventures, in terms of ones that I've actually fully completed. But yeah, I've actually not played that in a hot minute. I probably should boot that back up, because it's definitely a game I like to go back to every once in a while. But I've played it for many, many years at this point. It's... I have the actual game. I have had the actual game for quite a while. So I think I probably started playing Geometry Dash in 2015? 2014? Somewhere in that range. Oh. Yeah. It was definitely my go-to game to play just on... I had a really long bus ride, especially in high school. Somewhere in the, like, 30 to 40 minute range, because I went to a school that was a bit further away from where I lived. And that was one of my go-to, like, bus ride. It was the bus ride game. Oh! I salute you for being able to handle that. I would go crazy. Though I imagine it's good for getting last-minute work done. You realize you forgot the math homework. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't think I could do an easy demon at one try. Even once I get better at the game, I don't think I could do that. Especially not a 5-minute long level, my poor fingers. They are not what they used to be. Change of scene. I'll have to look it up. I think Yatagarasu is still my favorite level that I've ever seen. Yeah, there's so... I know, it's so old! I remember seeing that someone was like, yeah, that level's old now, and I was like, what do you mean? I remember when that released. I have seen, I've played since 2.2 came out. It's been interesting. So I've played some of the, like, Gauntlet levels, but I've not really done too much with it. It might be one of the games that I put into rotation. I think what I'm gonna, like, what I'm trying to do at the moment is I have a main game that I'm streaming, and, like, so at the moment that game is Deltarune. And then having one day a week as kind of like a brain reset, just something else. And I might put Geometry Dash as one of my games that's in the rotation for that. Though, at the moment, my rhythm game of choice, or, you know, my game that I usually go to for that sort of thing is Muse Dash. That's my #1 for... Yeah, no, I definitely... I need to get into a better habit of just, of making sure to post on YouTube when I start streaming, but... Yeah, I'll be sure to make announcements, especially when I start new games like that. But yeah, trying to do a main game like Deltarune, get through that, and then have sort of some secondary games that I'm not as worried about streaming consistently. You know, I can just kind of pick up and put down. And those will be the ones that are my little special ones. I'm towards the end of chapter 1. I just got to the castle. We just had the prison break. So yeah, I've only done one stream of Deltarune so far. I will be streaming more of it tomorrow. A little bit earlier than today, though. I did actually... Yeah. Oh. I guess I finally have to get rid of the JJ sucks message. Yeah, no worries. Ads are much appreciated, because that's part of how I make my revenue. So... It should be almost done now. There we go. Oh. Unpin. Did not mean to do that. That's what I get for accidentally pressing things. Welcome back. Oopsie daisy. I'm still learning things. I've only been streaming for about a month, so there's still some stuff that's new, and I definitely still accidentally do things. But yeah, so I've only done one stream of Deltarune so far, but I am going to be playing it more for the next few days. So by tomorrow, I should at the very least be done with chapter 1, and probably a solid chunk of the way into chapter 2. Thing is, though, I'm remaining as like, basically blind. So, like, I can't tell you, you know, oh, I'm at this part. Yeah. If you want to check if I did something, I actually did just post the VOD for Deltarune today. So if you want to just, like, at some point, just quickly run through that, you can kind of see if I did a particular thing or not. Yeah, I do know about the secret boss, or I know that there is a secret boss, rather. I know that I have like 2 broken keys, I think. I found there was like one hidden one. Yeah. Just kind of running through some of the things that it could potentially be. Yeah, I don't know what the secret boss is or anything. I did run into this weird guy that was like in a jail cell and had a weird conversation where he's like, yeah, do you want to play a game? I was like, oh, okay, discount Jigsaw. But yeah, I've not actually fought the secret boss. I just know that it exists. I know there's one in each of the chapters. I do have one of my 2 moderators. Their name is Juxie. Juxie is very, very, very well versed in Undertale and Deltarune, and so they've kind of been helping me with not only managing people in the chat, making sure they're not being brats about spoiling things, but also helping me to kind of be like, hey, by the way, if you don't want to miss a thing, like, hey, you can kind of giving like a, you could do a thing in this room, but not necessarily what the thing is. You know, those sorts of helpful hints. So, yeah, because unfortunately we have had problems with a couple of people who've been very excited to talk about the game, but in the process are a little over enthusiastic. And spoil some things that they should not. Which is no fun for anybody. Oh, no, it's a... Enemy patterns, that's okay. Compared to what people have been saying previously, that you're fine. That's nowhere close to the line, but you're good. Much appreciated for asking. It's more things like if it's stuff about the story, the characters, like the plot. The way that I see it is like if you were reading a book and somebody talked about that stuff in the book of like, oh, have you met this character yet or something? If you would be annoyed about it coming up in a book, then same principle applies here. But yeah, you definitely don't feel like you have to walk on eggshells, though, when it comes to talking about, like, mechanics. Yeah, I've been very intrigued by the way that you can just barely dodge stuff, and how you're kind of rewarded for that. It's a very interesting mix-up from Undertale. And I'm really glad that I went from Undertale to Deltarune, because I can definitely see how the combat evolved from one to the other. JJ sucks. I didn't realize the camera was going to be tilted up, or I would have put it up a little bit higher. You can see I added the... Yeah, the more TP you have, the more money you get. Mm-hmm. Entire world, but we both live in the same county with entries in the same recruitment directory. Most minded know Maxwell Lumix, her stylist extraordinaire. The other A Lumix is Arthur, who's a temporary supervisor specializing in mining ops. Guess just one of us got called up to run things here for the day. Yep, I am familiar with the development that it's not that this game was made before, it's that from what I understand, this was sort of the game that Toby Fox kind of envisioned, and then he kind of went into Undertale because he didn't have the skills to make the game that he had envisioned yet. Oh, I was mostly reading I was reading the new description, so this person, all right. Much appreciated, though. I get to turn on the cement drum? Oh. My favorite game of all time. That's tough. I really like Slime Rancher. It's the one that I have listed on Steam as my favorite game. Beat this game blind. Yeah, beating this game blind would basically mean putting on a blindfold, and I don't think I'd be able to do that. I also quite like Another Crab's Treasure, which is a Souls-like game that came out. Aggro Crab, if you're familiar with Peak, which is another game that kind of went pretty viral recently, same developers. Their previous game was Another Crab's Treasure, and I really enjoyed that game. Had a lot of fun with it. But you know of the game is more so the thing. It's from the Another Crab's Treasure, though, is a very different game from Peak. You can definitely tell that they took a lot of stuff from Landfall on Peak. I have the game, but I've not had a chance to play it yet, so I've not been able to really formulate an opinion on it. I mean, it looks fun, but it definitely seems like the kind of game you want to play with friends. You don't really want to do it solo. Which I don't mind, but you have to be in a particular mood for that. I know I've definitely played games like that, like Lethal Company, and another one was called Content Warning. But yeah, so that's been really good. I really enjoy Dark Souls, though I think part of that was because I got to experience it with my partner. So that kind of, you know, put a good spin on it for me, because I have that sort of specific association. So there's a lot of just really good games. Picking a favorite's like having to pick a favorite child. Though there are still definitely some children that I like better than others. I've also been enjoying this game called V Rising recently, which is a sort of vampire survival game, which has been very fun. It's got some really interesting bosses. Very much reminds me of, like, Diablo, because it's got that camera view, the isometric, where you're looking down at the character. So, that one's also been quite fun. The V Rising, the most recent, one of the games that I played was a game called V Rising, which is another one that I've been really enjoying so far. I will most likely be streaming for a couple of hours, so I've been going for a little under an hour now at this point, and we'll probably be going for a couple more at this. I typically stream for 3 to 4 hours, usually. You know, and feel free to drop in and out of whatever that time. But yeah, I typically go for a couple of hours whenever I stream, so that, yeah, I personally prefer to stream for a little bit longer. And then, yeah, like I said, I stream for 5 days a week, usually, with just taking the Monday and Thursday off. Taking all the rust off. Taking all the rust off. It is very satisfying to get all the difficult, like, grease spots off of these things. Wait. Yeah, depending on connection issues, though, it may end up being a little bit sooner that I finish up for stream, just because I have had a little bit of stutters, so might need to... How much is the water bill in-game? Non-existent! They don't make you pay for the water, so I could just do this. Whee! This is not how water works! Oh, but I imagine the actual water bill is quite high. In the thousands. Easy. They actually do have, in the first game, there's challenges where you have a limited amount of water, or you have a limited amount of time. They got that solid wet water. Oh. You think it's starting to look clean, you hit the magic button that makes all the dirt glow, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I missed so much. But yeah, I don't really want to know what they're... Oh, hydrate! Thank you. Gotta take a drink. We're also making sure the cement mixer is hydrated. Making sure that that's got all the water it needs. Here you go, buddy. Yeah! That's part of why I have the hydrate thing there, is it's not only a reminder for me, but it's also a reminder for everybody. Because sometimes, especially, I know, at least when I get excited, when I'm, you know, in a stream, just talking to people, I can definitely end up forgetting to drink water. Which is ironic, considering, you know, I'm sitting in a bowl of water, but there's a difference between your sitting water and your drinking water, you know? My favorite water brand? Anything that's not Zephyr Hills. There is a brand of water around where I am called Zephyr Hills water, which is... We always joke that it is just bottled swamp water. And it really does taste like that, to me at least. So if it's not that, I'm happy. I ask you the hardest and weirdest questions I can think of. Well, go for it. Just, yeah, safe for work, of course, but... Favorite gas station? Probably Racetrack. Wawa is also a high contender, though. They have really good sandwiches. But Racetrack is just, they're common enough. Wawa only just started coming into my area relatively recently, so I haven't had enough time to get to know them. They're the new kid on the block. Whereas Racetracks, they've been around, they're old reliable. We've built a relationship. They've proven they're trustworthy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very common around where I live. It's like Racetrack, Sitco. You don't really see Shell around here. And like I said, Wawa's kind of started to move in, but... Which corner of a square sandwich do you bite first? Typically, I actually, if I'm given a square sandwich that's not been cut, I will usually cut a sandwich into triangles, and then I will bite, like, one of the little triangle corners. Otherwise, it will be one that is like, one of the bottom corners. You know, one of the ones further away from where the top was. when it was baking. Kind of the one that was further baked into the pan a little bit, I guess. And then work my way up from there and kind of work, you know, work your way around. But like ultimately, which one do I pick on that? I cut the sandwich and it's no longer a square. Favorite type of soil? I mean, any kind of fertilized soil is usually pretty good. Arid soil. Some good old palm fertilizers is pretty nice. I do like soil, like, I mean, any area, especially soil after it rains, where you have the petrichor, that smell after a nice heavy rainfall, that's nice. That's good soil. I especially love it, like, when you manage to, if you do any kind of gardening, you do a little bit of gardening, and then you manage to get that gardening done, like, right before it rains, and then everything gets really vibrant. If you eat a tree leaf for the rest of your life, which tree leaf would it be? Oh, so not even just, like, if I had to pick one just to try, if I had to eat one for the rest of my life. I mean, I feel like the basic answer there is probably maple. Yeah, that's probably the easy one, because they're pretty tasty, but most of the trees around me actually have needles, not leaves. Like, we have a lot of pine trees around us, and those are not good to eat. It would be not that, because those pine trees do not taste good. I was definitely one of those kids that just stuck it. You know, would try a lot of weird things. And so I definitely tried eating those needles at least once or twice. And it was not good. So, just any kind of those wide leaves. Same, but not needles. Yeah, that's smart. Don't eat the needles off of trees. Life lesson of the Seri stream. Don't eat pine needles. Unless you properly prepare them, because I know sometimes you can do, like, infused things with trees, with certain woods and such, and you can actually make some pretty decent stuff out of it, but you have to be pretty careful about which tree you use and how you prepare it, so. But there's actually a YouTube channel that I've followed for a while, a woodworker who's done a project where he's been making ice cream out of different kinds of trees, and he'll, like, soak the wood in the cream and make different, like, jams or things out of the leaves or the berries or fruit, you know, just all these different things out of all these different trees. Basically just proving that, like, yeah, trees do have edible parts and the flavor can be really good. You just have to know how to prepare it, you know, just like any other ingredient. Just like how you'd never eat raw chicken. Yeah, you might have run into it on your YouTube shorts. I know I kind of just ran into him one day and was like, this is a really interesting thing. Don't really like chicken. That's fair. But I mean, even if you don't like chicken, even just as a principle thing, like, you don't typically, unless, you know, it's a specific thing, you don't typically have raw meat, you know, or raw egg, or even raw vegetables usually. You know, you find different ways to prepare them. Never eat a sheep. Alas, there are those in the world who do not share your sentiment. I'm not a fan either. I've tried veal before, which is, but it is not my thing. There we go. Gotta get the last of these little bits off. Bits, 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 bits. Get the bits. But aw. Yeah, I guess that makes sense then why you wouldn't want to eat a sheep. Like, I would never want to eat snake. No worries. Though, to be fair, you know, drawing is one of those things that you gotta practice. I know for me, I just sketched whenever I felt like it. Alligators can taste good. Now that's a different family. That's a reptile with legs. And alligators very much are in the eat or be eaten kind of category of animals, so... but yeah, they... You might not like them because I've been told that they taste similar to chicken. They're a little bit of a weird, almost fishy chicken. I'm too old to know what the meme is. That's my opinion on that. I know it's a thing right now. I have no idea what it means or where it came from or anything with it. I am unfortunately old. I am a decrepit old snake. I don't know the modern lingo. Ah. Oh no, you're good. I guess that makes sense as a meme origin. Hop, hop. Let me up. There we go. Hardcore parkour. Parkour. But yeah, no, I've seen it around the place. I know it is a thing. It is just one of those things that I know I have encountered, and when it has come up, I kind of look at it and it's just like, oh, I am aging out of the internet space, aren't I? Oh no, I can feel the wrinkles. I can feel my bones creaking. All my little tiny snake bones. Yeah. No, I've not seen a lot of memes that have really stuck with me. Kind of just been making my own with my own friend group and such. Like, it actually depends on the snake. Some snakes can live to be 30 to 40 years old. Or even older. Reptiles can be surprisingly long-lived. No worries. That's what I'm here for. I know too much about animals. I like animals. That's why some of the channel points redeems are about animal facts. It's purely because I like talking about them too much. Alright. Just finish up. We're almost done! We're almost done! The last little bits. What section is it saying I need to... Okay, there we go. Go. If a Titanoboa appeared in my face, most likely try to hug it and die for it. Because if not friend, why friend-shaped? But I adore snakes. I absolutely love them. I've held, you know, I've held several in my life. I want to have a pet snake at some point. I am a snake, you know, in my Burger King. Nice. The king of all burgers. The Burger King. Got Burger King, didn't bring enough to share with the snake. It's okay. I have 2 moderators. Oh, and... Whoa. That was a bit higher than I was expecting to jump. Yeah, morning light. There we go. Is this Jet and Flow's Angels? I need a hand flipping my farmhouse. Alright. Cleaner. Just leave the thing spinning the entire time. Farm! Off to the farm we go. Oh, gee, great. Love the name change. It suits you. There was no name change! Ad is ended. Fantastic! There was no name change, Annie Mall. It's Harper. The guy I work with keeps telling people different names. You'll be pleased to know that you're not the only one adapting. With everything that's gone on, we've tried our hands at regenerative farming. This barn is part of our new farm shop, front and center. It needs to look the part, and I know you got that covered. Don't you worry yourself about my pooches running around, getting in the way and biting your ankles. I've sent everyone I could find off to the dog cafe for the day. I'm glad to hear the ad has finished up. Ugh, this is going to be a long one. Want coffee? I am much more of a tea drinker personally, but I get the appeal of coffee. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the super bitter taste of coffee, but I know there are definitely types that are on the sweeter side. Heard about all the gerrymandering our friendly Mayor Jeff Jefferson's been doing lately. Ooh, gerrymandering! Well, he's just changed up the town's boundaries so that our little farm's in Pumpton now and not Muckingham. I know exactly why. Oh boy, I can't... we get to add another crime to the list for Mayor Jeff Jefferson. He's gerrymandering. What type of PC? I have a custom PC that I built with my dad. So I don't know the specific specs or anything, but it's not like a specific one. Yeah, it's on the lower, it's not anything super duper fancy. It's kind of meant to be small, for when I, eventually move to an apartment, but it's a little, it's got some power behind it. Yeah, and I'm very grateful to him for helping me to put that together. So we went through and we picked all of he picked out all the pieces for it and put it together, so we could stay within kind of a set budget. But yeah. It means that even the front of it, it has the blue and green colors that I use as the main color palette for my channel. The little fan glows. Yeah, definitely not any kind of, multi-thousand-dollar gaming setup or anything, but it's been very good. And was definitely an improvement to what I had. Still hungry. No! I believe with everything, it was about in the, 800 range. Somewhere 700 to 800. And then I also got a new monitor at the time, which was another 100 or so. So yeah, so all things considered, we managed to get it together for under 1,000. So, again, definitely not anything top of the line, but, just came out, but also definitely nothing to scoff at either. Hey, that's always a starting point. Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that it runs well for you. Yeah, I mean, ultimately it doesn't come down to hardware. And, as long as your technology works for what you need it to work for, then that's ultimately what matters. And, my current technology, it works for what I need it to work for, and I'm very grateful for that. Sounds like it might be dessert time. Didn't even have to ask. Oh. Grandma senses. You can never underestimate them. Wish, 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 wish. Ugh. If this one big side of the barn is only 13%, I am scared. My day's been going pretty well so far. Got the short up this morning. Been doing that, and today was mostly about posting a bunch of the VODs that I had kind of been procrastinating on getting uploaded because YouTube likes to take its sweet time with uploading videos that are 3 to 4 hours long. So, a lot of the day was spent just staring at the computer, making sure it didn't go to sleep so that those actually uploaded, because I have tried to upload things in the past, and it's just sometimes when my computer's gone to sleep, YouTube's just like, well, can't get to your computer anymore. Guess you wanted to cancel your upload. So wait, no. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Yeah, sorry, boss. Can't do the upload thing there now. So it doesn't fall asleep. That is true, but the main thing though is that when you're doing like downloads and uploads, is it's using so much of the computer's resources to do those things already that any other program runs incredibly slow. So, you know, editing or games or anything of the sort is gonna run at a snail's pace. So, it's just, it gets to a point where it's like, it's just not worth it. It's easier to just sit by it and just, you know, bump the mouse every few minutes and work on something else. You know, even if it's just reading a book or something. But hopefully, I'm gonna try and be more consistent about getting those uploaded right after the streams happen, so that I don't have as much of a buildup as I do currently. Because the problem was that I was procrastinating on getting them uploaded right after the streams, and that led to me having to upload a bunch all at once, which my computer was not happy at me about. But once I don't do that, you know, if I'm just uploading the one after each day of streaming, that should hopefully be significantly better. That's what happens, though, when you let things build up, is it ultimately can make the final thing a bit more difficult. But most of that build-up's dealt with now, so it should be a lot easier. And I was able to get some fun streams up, like I've gotten the first 2 days of this game up, Powerwash Sim. I also have my days where I was playing a game called Monster Care Simulator, which is another kind of cozier game, which is very fun. I quite enjoy it. It's basically like if you were running your own Pokemon Center. And then I also have my first day of Delta Rune up, which I know a lot of people, yeah, that's probably the one that will most likely, if any of them get any traction, that's the one that's most likely to get traction. Of any kind. Or just get people watching it, but... So... I do still have, I know I need to get I was playing some Dark Souls 2 on stream with my partner. I need to upload those. And then I do have a couple of days of Slime Rancher. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I imagine the earlier chapters of Deltarune are meant to kind of ease people in. We haven't really gotten to the stage of Deltarune where it's getting more difficult. Though I am definitely more than capable of still dying to stupid things even now. Monks. Wait, the monks are up on the hill? Oh my gosh, they are! Hey, those are the guys from the first game! Doesn't even get to tell you what to do until after the first boss. Yeah! Though I feel like calling Lancer a boss is, feel like he gets some air quotes with that. He's a boss in the way that some of the side characters are bosses. I don't know if I've really encountered a true boss character yet. Because I guess for me, the bosses in Undertale were the ones that changed the mechanics of the fight. The ones that made you, the, like, Undyne, Papyrus, the Mettaton, even Muffet, her fight, like, those feel like boss fights. Lancer fits more in, like, with the encounters, like, the greater or lesser dogs or stuff like that, where, yeah, there's something unique to it, but it's not really a boss, per se. You know what I mean? But then again, he is probably the closest thing there has been to a boss at this point, at least where I am. It's either him or there was the Checkers guy that they kind of framed as a bit of a boss, but even he wasn't super difficult. A lot of them feel more like puzzles than they do boss fights so far. Like, figuring out the order of operations that you need to go through in order to win. Especially because I'm trying to do things peacefully, because my fluffy boy Ralsei has said, hey, can we not fight people? It's like, okay, I will not fight people. I fought one person, I was told, hey, can we not do that? And I went, aight, we're not gonna do that anymore. You heard the little man said no. So I've been trying to do the non-violent options for all of them. And that's been a very interesting challenge to figure out. Oh, yeah, I mean, I definitely... That's one of the things is, like, I do see myself going back to do the genocide route at some point. But, especially for Undertale, but I'm not certain. Like, it's probably gonna be something I do as, like, a follower goal, or something to that effect, or sub-goal, or something like that, or a subathon. Save it for something like that, some kind of event. So, I give myself a little bit of a break from Undertale, play through Deltarune, get to experience that as it comes out, experience other games, and then come back to Undertale. Didn't kill anybody, we were too close. I don't. I know nothing about genocide. The only thing I really know about the genocide route, or just the violent route in general, is that I know you have to deal with Sans as a boss, because he gets upset with you at the end of you talk to him at the end of your neutral route, and he's like, yeah, if you had killed anybody, I would have killed you. I'm talking in Deltarune. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I probably don't know about Deltarune either. Yeah, I mean, it's... a lot of these bosses are ultimately, they come down to pattern recognition. If you're good at pattern recognition and reactions, you know, can you recognize what they're doing and can you react to that, to what they're doing in time, then yeah, I imagine they probably are pretty easy. Or at the very least, they're not... It's not overly complicated mechanics-wise. It does not say there is an ad playing on my end. Am I lagging? Uh-oh. I know I have had some connection issues. I don't know if I'm lagging for anybody else, though. Like the stream is freezing and stuff. I'm not noticing any issues on my end. I do have some dropped frames, but... I'll keep an eye on it, but for the moment it seems like it's stable. It is definitely freezing up a little bit, though. I am noticing it a little bit on over here. But yeah, Undertale was one of the ones where, when I went into the game, I did have a little bit of cultural osmosis. But Deltarune I know basically nothing about. This year has gone by fast. Oh, like, so with Undertale, yeah, with Undertale, when I knew, you know, I knew about some things just because I've existed on the internet. You know, I knew about, you know, like, Sans having more to him than just being a jokester. I knew that there were multiple routes, you know. I knew some of those little minor details playing Undertale just because I'd encountered them over the years since the game came out. But with Deltarune, I knew from the beginning that it was a game that I wanted to stream, so I've completely tuned it out ever since it first started coming out. And because of that, I've been able to go into that playthrough even more blind than I did Undertale. Which has been really fun. It doesn't feel... lots of bugs. Yeah. As somebody from the south, or from further south, I definitely sympathize with too many bugs around. Though for us, it's kind of funny. I would say that our main sort of pest isn't, you know, rodents or bugs or anything. It's little tiny lizards. They're probably the #1 thing that I see just running around on a daily basis. Which I think is definitely more pleasant than just seeing, you know, any kind of rat or, you know, cockroaches or something. Yeah, they are very cute. They definitely can still scare the bejeebies out of you in the right circumstances, but they are very cute. I think part of the reason I like reptiles, or at least wasn't scared of them as a child, was just because I was around them so often because of things like that. You know, growing up. Well, bugs have their own purpose in the ecosystem as well, so they're doing good work. More than Freddy. Oh. We're bringing out the big guns. What kind of bugs are they? Is it just like beetles? Is it, you know, cockroach, you know, palmetto bugs, or is it just bug? Because I also could totally understand, like, in some cases, cockroaches. Yeah, that can be rough to deal with. Oh. Ooh, yeah, no, I think that, I don't think anybody here is gonna say that that is not reasonable. Ooh, that's too many in the kitchen. Oh, yeah, no, that's... I definitely am very much like, I am an animal person. I love animals. I will happily babble about them, and I love learning about them. But they can stay out of the bathroom. Oh, not by the light switch! It's not- it's already bad enough that they're in the bathroom. They're holding your lights hostage. Take the gamble. Oh. Right before they win big. I'm in the 99%. I am Yeah, I think that's you know, I don't think that's not the kind of gamble that you would see at Las Vegas. That's the kind of gamble that would show up on Fear Factor. And I don't think anybody is gonna fault you for calling it quits on that one. You know, Chief, this ain't it. Alright, can I go up now? Arise! Whee! Oh, that's a wonderful 1-2 combo. Let's just hope that you don't find the rats by the electrical socket. The cockroaches had lay claim to the light switch turf, but the rats, they block off your extension cord. You gotta pay a fee to the rat mafia to plug in your phone. Yeah, no, at the moment I'm not talking. I was just zoning out a little bit. power washing. You're good. But yeah, no, I having been in situations where there's a lot of people in one house, I definitely sympathize with having to be the one that gets kicked off the... gets put in the sleeping bag. Or on the trundle mattress, or so, you know, so on and so forth. Though that wasn't very often. I'm from a pretty small family, so... It was pretty rare that we had that many people. At least you had something to sleep on. True. Yeah, and having that in a house where you know that there's also creepy crawlies running around. Oh, there you go. You had the plushies, at least. But yeah, no, that is rough to not have anything else. Ah! I don't know what I was expecting there, actually. I appear to be ascending. Wait, hold on. So if you start... Hold on. I need to check this. I need to see. I gotta confirm. Oh no! Oh. I have disappeared. I have reappeared. There we go. Alright. Yeah. I have no idea why they make the ads so long. But now that we're back, I'm gonna finish cleaning this little spot. There we go. I wish to test the Engie snake. Alright, so if I start to climb this as I pick... I think I was like, I was starting to climb it and I picked it up like at the same time. Yeah! I can just ascend! Wait, I'm still on it! What if I just click it? What? Is there two now? No? Okay, wait. Okay, so now it's over here. Is this something I can... I think I can replicate it pretty easily. I'm I'm absolutely gonna break the game. I want to see if I can get out of bounds. Alright. So I need to kind of like aim out there and then move up. It's definitely a timing thing, because I have to do it like basically the frame I get. There we go. Yeah, so the frame I pick up the, or the moment I get on the ladder, I also have to do the pickup and be looking far enough away that it moves them away from me. Oh. I wonder if this is possible with any of the scaffolding, or if it's just this one. I presume it's just a quirk of the object, not necessarily the level. Yeah. It is definitely precise, though. But in a doesn't feel like it's frame perfect precise. Like, I don't think it's something that you can only do on the one frame, but I'm not positive. It very well could be. Yeah, do your little idol. Yeah. I wanna know. I need to know. There we go. Okay. So then I can kind of just have this anywhere. Okay, and then it basically just makes an invisible ladder, is what it seems like it does. It doesn't have a platform or anything up there. But it does give me an invisible ladder, basically, wherever I want. So, let's see. Let's see if I can do something with that. Let's come, like, over here. It's like, this is the farthest. Okay, so it won't let me actually... Like, it won't let my character go past this point. So let's get the ladder as close as possible. We're breaking it! Actually, hold on. How tall is this wall? Okay, pretty tall. There is a invisible wall here. But we're still gonna see if we can get the... Let's just see if we can, like, get onto this little truck here. And... yeah, I'm not trained in frame perfects. I do like breaking games, though. Oh no. Come on, come on. We're gonna do this. We're gonna break it. We're gonna send this power washer into the stratosphere. Well, not actually into the stratosphere, but, you know. We're gonna at least make him levitate. I'm gonna at least try and get it one more time. Yeah! So this is interesting, because... So, I can place it... Oh, well, that's weird. Now my controls are inverse. I set it down, and now my controls are reversed. Well, I don't think this is how I'm supposed to power wash. I think I might have broken some. Hi, welcome to Powerwash Sim. I appear to have ascended. I no longer require the use of my mortal instruments. I can now just float. Yeah, and then as soon as I get off of it, it disappears. I ascend! I don't know if there's really a use for it on this level, just because there's pretty much everything that you'd want to get to. At least the level itself, there's like nothing, there's not really anything around it. Only thing would be if for whatever reason, over there, that little like monastery, that little temple right up there, that is a level from Powerwash Sim 1. And now I don't think that this map, I highly doubt this map is the map that we play on in that game. I assume they're different maps. But it would be really funny if there was for some reason some way that we could break out of this map and end up kind of playing around in a low-res version of a map from the first game. But anyways, I should probably get back to actually doing my job. Oh, that's gonna be especially funny on like, the... No, I got the bug bite on the hand! Oh, I'm so sorry, Sheepy. You may want to go get that bandaged and taken care of. Or at least go and wash it off. If the cockroaches let you use the light switch. Ah. Oh, no worries. Hey! I have the coordination of a limp noodle that doesn't know how to dance. Headphones are low. Thank God they charge. Well, that's good. We love fast charge times here. I know I tend to have a recharge time of 3 to 5 days. Oh, week every charge. Nice. Those are some good headphones. Yeah, that's one of the things I probably need to look into soon. My headset's a little on the older side. But they're still kicking. They have given me a couple of scares at some points, though. I've woken up and I've started to try and listen to stuff, and it's like, no, actually, I don't feel like I'm working. Yeah, if you're using them that much and the charge still lasts a week, and they recharge that fast, that's really nice. No worries. I'm glad they work for you. Or siblings. Ooh. I am an only child, so every time I hear about people with a lot of siblings, I'm always, I salute you. I have not known the pain of that war. Alright. We're almost to 50%. A little bit of time. Getting there. Put my headphones in the charger so I'm not hearing as well. No worries. I'll be sure to be extra loud so the cockroaches can also join in on the fun. And maybe then they'll stop threatening your light switch. Maybe if we can appease them with entertainment, they'll finally release the hostage. Alright, cockroaches, we've entered open negotiations for free use of the switch in the bathroom. Phone's at 10! All the charges dropping. Oh, you won't be missing out on too much. We're just chilling, got the music. Oh, that's good. Nice and toasty in the blanket. Merman's missing gems, Harper. Fellow fans of mystery, anyone got any juicy theories on who might have stolen the merman's gems? Why am I a part of the mystery gang's group chat? Why is the power washer considered to be a fan of mystery? Other than just the fact that I have some say in the fact that I was the one who originally started the whole thing. That's not really my style, Harper! Though our character definitely has been given more personality in this game. We actually have characters that have nicknames. We call the park warden Parky. And actually, I think they have a nickname for us as well. I think they called us something in the last one. Now see, that's the mayor. Who apparently is going to be going after us with his lawyers because we refuse to give him his cat. Because it's not his cat anymore. It's our cat. Oh boy, I get to go to court! I can't wait to win the court case by power washing the courthouse and getting the jury to like me because I made the courthouse look clean. That's definitely going to be how the case is won in this game. Alright. Got the little... Slowly but surely we're working through the roof. This is a big level, though. A big rectangle of a level. It's a box and a cylinder. This is definitely a... I like the Spirit City music because I keep the sound effects for Powerwash Sim a little on the, on the lower side for my partner. But so I use the Spirit City music to kind of fill in the times where I'm not really talking. But man, some of the music in here really just put me to sleep. I feel like I'm gonna just honk shoo me right on the, just on top of this person's roof. Just, yeah, I got most of it done. I just get the rest in the morning. Good night. Oh, yes, it is a Chinese finger trap. It was drawn by one of my friends. It is a threat. It is my equivalent of jail. Because we were talking about how a snake can't really be kept in a jail cell because a snake could just slip through the bars. So, what would be the equivalent of jail, or, for a snake? And ultimately we landed on Chinese finger trap. And then it became a reality. And now it is used as a threat. The tube. The dastardly, dastardly tube. Which I have to be careful saying because it might summon Silver from the depths. Though I don't believe she's actively listening at the moment, which is okay. Time to normal. I actually am more of a morning person, so I usually tend to go to sleep a little bit earlier. Are we putting... We are not putting Seri in the tube again. No! No! No tube. The tube was asked about. There is no need for the tube to be utilized. No, no. No tube. No tube. I'm being threatened! Yeah, so Sheepy, that's what the tube is. The tube is a threat. The tube is a menacing threat. You will not tube me today. I am untubable! Yeah, but the emote was actually drawn by one of the members of the community, Silver Star 12, and so they're usually the one who is most adamant about its usage. Auspex, I think, is filling in for Silver today. Alright. Doesn't look like we're gonna have to do inside the barn, which is nice. I was kind of worried about that. The merman's... Ooh! How do you say... I know exactly who it was. Peter Wrangler, 38 Acacia Avenue. Why does that address sound familiar? He's always moaning about the merman hum, plus he owns an angle grinder. I know because he's always cutting bricks in his yard. Case closed. Hate to break it to you, but that seems like circumstantial evidence more than anything. Alright. Put the max quality settings on. No, because my computer would probably cry. I know. I quite like the nicer quality, but yes, we were discussing your tube. We were definitely not discussing the use of the tube though, but we were discussing you as the creator of the tube. Yes, the tube. You do not need to use the tube. There has been no reason to use the tube. I was only levitating. Levitation is not a crime in this country. Not yet, anyways. Not until levitation is a large enough part of society that it requires government regulation. Goodness gracious. Put the tube down! Yeah, no, it does occasionally just delve into papyrus. Put the tube down, I say! Put it down! Put it down! No! No! You dare to stifle the great papyrus! Yeah, I still need to work on adding more emotes. The jelly, that is Sir Wiggles! Sir Wiggles, the keeper of the channel points. Yeah, actually, I should work on one of the emote ideas I have with Sir Wiggles, which is giving him his a knight helmet and a sword, because Sir Wiggles deserves a sword. Sword! Yeah, I still need to figure out... I still have a couple more emote slots for followers, and then I also need to work on the ones for subscribers. And I gotta figure out, what I actually want to do for, the subscriber badges as well. Because I know I want to get those done at some point. But I'm not really sure. So, I have to work on that at some point, but... But yeah, there will definitely be new emotes to come. Okay. And then down here. Give me a sub for 1 month. I just now noticed. Ah. Yeah, sometimes when I know when people gift subs on channels for it'll just randomly pick people. Either it will usually pick randomly from who's watching, and then if there's everybody who's watching is subscribed, it'll just pick among the followers. For like when people will just do random gift subs. And yeah, there's sometimes you won't notice. But that's still very sweet. And now that you've noticed, you can enjoy that for a period. Oh, okay. Interesting. Hmm. Oh, it was in September. Oh no! Ah, so when you say you just now noticed, it's a... Ah... Oh. State-of-the-art security force. How about someone with access to Sponge Valley Tech, Blake Thrust? Oh, we're actually mentioning Blake. Except he disappeared, though. Well, that's interesting. More lore! Yep. About that time. Good butts. Aw, this is very much appreciated. Well, no worries. Even just you being here and being a part of the stream is very helpful. And you've also been very supportive on the YouTube channel as well, so you do make me very happy with that. And I'm glad that you've been enjoying the content, and I hope that I can continue to make content that you enjoy. Along with everybody else. Yeah, I mean, ultimately at this point, you know, in my stage in this stage in development, the big thing is just sharing it around sharing to people, spreading the word, seeing if you know if you know people that like gaming, like variety content, like the kinds of games that I play. Even just sharing those YouTube videos or liking. I know it's very cheesy because you hear it all the time when you're watching things of like, you know, oh, like and subscribe. But, you know, having now seen the analytics side of it, you know, starting to see kind of the other end of the spectrum, it really does make a difference. And, you know, even just those couple more followers, you know, a couple more followers on Twitch or subscribers on YouTube, or just, you know, continuing to share around, like that does a lot. Yeah, and it's very much the support is very much appreciated. You know, I'm still ultimately a very small channel, and will probably be that way for quite some time. But it makes me happy. I enjoy it. I'm doing what I love and playing the games I love with people that I love. And, you know, that's ultimately what matters. And I'm slowly starting to build a revenue stream out of that, which is amazing. But, you know, at this point, that's a secondary thing. You know, I'm also just happy that I get to share something that I enjoy, share a passion that I have. Thank you, Sheepy. It's very much appreciated. I mean, you know, I've been streaming for a little under, a little over a month now. I actually just recently passed the 1 month, like, anniversary, quote unquote, of when I started streaming. And there definitely have been times where, you know, you start to doubt, you think, you know, is this really the path that I want to go on? Is this something that's making me happy? And ultimately, you know, I thankfully have been in a situation where I've been able to experiment and try this out, see how it's going, and I've been able to enjoy it and start to meet people that like my content, like my personality, like my weirdness, because I am in fact a very weird person. And ultimately, you know, I make the joke that a Seri C stream is a Seri noises stream. You just don't know what percentage of noises you're gonna get. Yeah, this is... Yeah. It never hurts to just start. That's honestly, like, that's the biggest advice that anybody can take, is just sometimes you just, if you want to try it, if you want to try streaming, you know, look into like OBS. Yeah, I also have a lot of issues with self-confidence. It's really hard. You know, your brain really likes to tell you that you're not good enough to stream, or, you know, no one's gonna like your content or anything like that. But ultimately, what can silence your brain more than anything is results and just doing the thing. Giving it a shot. And, you know, you very well may find that, you know, you have experience talking to people on Discord, but, you know, that... Yeah. Yeah, 26,000 subs, though, is really good. I mean, that's... Consistency is very important with posting, so definitely, I mean, if that's something you really want to explore, highly recommend just doing it consistently. But yeah, that is a lot. That is nothing to scoff at. Very nice. Sorry, I... Yeah, I mean, that's just how I've been slowly building up my channel, you know? I've made it to... A nice speech worth a tier 2. What? What? Huh? What are you talking about? So I don't know what you're saying. I appreciate aspects that you think it's worth a tier 2, but if anything, I am a little too preachy for my own good sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's okay, Sheepy. ultimately, I think what Silver is getting at, you know, that is, you know, it there are different reasons that can happen, that you know, you have that voice in your head, and there are also ways to combat it. Yeah, she's struggling to talk. That's okay. More so just trying to figure out how to phrase what Silver's saying in a different way that hopefully makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly what Silver said. Oh my gosh, I got $100 for cleaning that one section of roof. I should do that more often. Actually, do I have enough? I have a fair amount of money. I need to check. Gotta go to washer equipment. Can I get the next 6,000? Yeah. Adaptable nozzle. Haha. And the long extension. Fear me. And my bright blacken. It's been a decent little bit since you've plugged in your headphones. You could probably check to see if they're good. Ha. Hey, that's an hour and 45 minutes to charge is still pretty good. That's still pretty darn fast charging time. Oh, hold on, I might need to levitate to get up here. Come over here, magic scaffolding. Let's see if I can pull this off again. I'm back in the building. I'm back in the scaffolding building. Don't know why it turns automatically. We'll just set that down there. I will figure out how to do that glitch more consistently because it's funny as all hell. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. Yeah, I have to experiment with it. I'll probably experiment with it off stream, see if I can figure out how to get it to work. It might work better with some of the smaller scaffoldings, like on some of the other levels. I'm not certain, though. I really don't know how... I have a theory about what's going on, but, you know, it's just a theory. What does Return to the Sea do? Okay, so that's kind of a joke redeem. Basically, it's from playing... It's originally from Slime Rancher, but essentially it is a cave. But that's just a joke thing. A joke theory. It is a redeem where when you put it in, I have to figure out a way to quote-unquote return to the ocean as quickly as I can, regardless of what game I am playing. Which more often than not is redeemed on games where that leads to my imminent and sudden death. On some games, it's a little bit more chill, you know, like I've mentioned that, you know, as mentioned in the redeem, you kind of have to pick and choose your game, because, you know, like in Powerwash Sim, what ocean, I kind of have to get a little creative with it. And actually, that's kind of one of the nice things they changed about Slime Rancher 2. They actually added an upgrade where you can upgrade your vac pack so that you do keep a percentage of your stuff. So, it's not... It's still definitely devastating to die, but you don't lose everything. It could be worse. But yes, that originally came about in Slime Rancher, so in Return to the Sea is redeemed in Slime Rancher, I throw myself into the sea as fast as I can. It was redeemed 3 times on one stream. Because my chat is sadistic. But yeah, it's like Vac Guard, I think is what it's called. And yeah, they made it so that it lets you keep a certain percentage of your items. It's like, I think it goes from like 20, 40, 60. But it is very good. Actually, why am I doing that? Why do I want to... There we go. Hop! On the top I go. I'm afraid of heights. Alright, we'll stick to the scaffolding then. This is scaring me. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Don't jump down. I will do my best not to jump down. I will stay to the scaffolding because that is safer for me. We'll stay up here. So it's nice and sturdy. I mean, yeah, I can imagine you've got a cockroach mafia in there. I think you've got reason to be on guard when you're EP. That's when they get you. Alright. There we go. Back up the stairs. Yeah, see, I did most of it from down below, so this part's nice and quick, thankfully. Yeah. No, I definitely... And then, of course, anxiety is like, well, it's invisible, so, you know. Guess you die now. Guess you gotta burn the whole house down. Nuke it from orbit, it's the only way to be sure. Alright. Just going back down the stairs. Death by Glamour. It is a very good song. I think Death by Glamour is probably one of my favorites from the songs I heard. I do also really like Muffet's song. I don't know the names of the songs, I just kind of know where they show up in the game. I know Bone Trousel is Papyrus's. That name was mentioned. I know Undyne's was... I was told the name of Undyne's song, and I do not recall it. Which means that one of my moderators is going to be pissed at me. Sorry, Juxie. I don't remember the name, it didn't stick. Nice. Wish. Wish. Ah, yes, you're getting the 1080p silo cleaning experience. The perfect time to test your phone's capabilities. Really pushing it to the limits. Put the pedal to the metal. Yeah. That is fair. I think I usually watch things on 1080, honestly. If only just because my phone battery goes down like crazy otherwise. Also, most videos are uploaded in 1080. Alright, well that's the roof done. Yep, we're 99% done. Just gotta get some of the paneling here done. Come on, there we go. Someone needs to make this in... How would you make this into a horror game? Like, would you be having to do this while something is, like, hunting you down? Or would you be doing this to fight the monsters? Or... On the one hand, that sounds terrifying, but on the other hand, I'm morbidly curious. Like, I don't want to know, but also... Nighttime you have to finish before you can leave. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And yes, something is lookable. Yeah, that would be terrifying. But also I would definitely end up playing it. Because that does also sound fun. I always really like horror games where you end up playing as just, you know, average Joe Smo. You know, you're not anybody special. You're just some guy who's in some really bad situation. And you know, you wish it worked out better, but you know, you're just having to figure things out as you go. Yeah, FNAF is probably the one that introduced me to that style, but there's definitely been a I mean, I also quite like, Alien Isolation is also very fun. It's just, you're the engineer. Oh, come on. But yeah, the FNAF series definitely falls under that category of just random person in way over their head. Alright. Come on. Have I not satiated your lust for cleanliness, Wall? Release me from my purgatory! There we go, thank you. I just had to complain, and it finally was like, alright, I guess. Oh yeah, no. This is one of those games that you definitely play because you want to avoid doing those things in real life. It is ultimately really satisfying, though, once we fully finish. And it all comes together. Oh, come on. There we go. To be fair, fair though, I feel like avoiding a job where you're working at a pizza place and getting stuffed into a suit is probably easier than we give it credit for, you know? There's not really many places that do that kind of that sort of style of show anymore. You know? Like, yeah, maybe 20 years ago there would have been enough Chuck E. Cheese's that it's like, okay, yeah, I could potentially see that being a concern, but at this point, I think they're kind of being phased out. You know, that actually brings up an interesting point without just a pure curiosity thing. I wonder if when Five Nights at Freddy's was getting really popular and everybody was talking about it, I wonder how that affected Chuck E. Cheese or places like that as a company. Like, did they just lose money? Or gain money? Like, did more people go to Chuck E. Cheese? You know, older people that wanted to be like, this is just like Five Nights at Freddy's, woohoo! Or did they lose money because, you know, older people watched it and were, you know, kids like, I want to go to Chuck E. Cheese! Nope! That could be a fun thing to look into at some point. Or there's absolutely zero change because the markets were different, you know? That's also entirely a possibility. Oh, finally. What is it still saying is dirty here? Hello? Hello? There we go. Okay. This is why you try to be thorough when you do things over the first time, and then you're not thorough because you're too busy paying attention to other things. And then you end up having to basically just go over the level twice. Uh... 99%. Let me go! Have I not done enough for you? Have I not satiated your lust for pretty pristine surfaces? Have I not satiated it? No, alas, I am still trapped. I have no idea what it was, frankly. Was it a voice crack? I got no clue. Probably? Probably some kind of voice crack. Is it just like down here? Is that where it's... Where is it hiding? Release your sediment, foul fiend! Ha-ha! Ha-ha! You have reached the Powerwash point cap. There's a Powerwash point cap? I'm glad you think I'm funny. I try. Well, actually, that's... I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily try. I do try. I do and I don't. Maybe. I'm glad you think I'm funny. I'm gonna just end the sentence. I'm just gonna end it there. We're just gonna cut it off there and keep going. Oh my goodness gracious, this is a mess. Yeah, there's times where I try to formulate a sentence and I just fail so miserably at it. And I keep attempting to try and continue to formulate the sentence, despite the fact that the sentence is not sentencing. And instead I have learned that the best way to reset my brain is to just accept that that particular sentence is not happening. And I need to just, you know, wish it well and, you know, leave it at like a little sentence orphanage. It's for somebody else to find and pick up. And then just move on. 'Cause I'm not giving that sentence the care it needs. I have to be the start of that sentence's villain origin story. Okay. So I also need to clean that on this side. I imagine. Oh. We're so close. Let me go! You were not aware of stream. I stream the same times every week, Juxie. But also so it's 2 AM here. You're here to keep up your streak. Let's say it like it is. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'll be streaming. I might try and do one more level after this, because I think the one that's after this seems like it's on the shorter side, so I might try and do that one and then call it after that. You know you can keep the streak by watching videos, right? You don't have to be here for the live streams. Just to keep, you know, like if you miss a stream, you know, if you find out it's late, you can just watch the video instead. Yeah, but I want to be... Yeah, but go to bed. Why are you here at 2 in the morning for you? Go eat. Also, I definitely didn't forget the name of Undyne's song and disappointed you earlier. You're in bed. I forgore. Wait, ladder. Everybody's in bed except me. This isn't fair. Night, Juxie. I think this one's probably gonna be what I have to use. Plan A has failed. Release the scissor lift. Release the scissor lift. There we go. Oh, come on! Ah, it's alright. Stand up, stretch your legs. Nuts! Auspex! What did you think I was gonna... How dare you think so lowly of me that you think I would say, release the syphilis! In that sort of voice. I would never do such a thing. Wait a minute. feel as if I may have been bamboozled. Just a touch. I have been tricked. I have been backstabbed. And I have been quite possibly bamboozled. Ah! Sheepy, I hope you weren't paying attention just now. And if you were, look away! Look away! I definitely didn't mean to do that. There we go, finally. One more piece. I'm too high level, it's okay. Yay, I'm glad. I was not trying to cause any distress. Let's go! Oh, 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 oh. My power washer appears to have been cut in half and re-put together again. Oh, you can see me floating there. Not sure what I was expecting exactly, but this is incredible. Almost forgot it was this color. I might even have to muddy it up a bit or people won't believe we're a working farm. I'm kidding, of course. Fantastic job. Alright, what have we got in the shop? We haven't looked at the furniture catalog in a hot minute. We've got some dumbbells. Yeah, we'll grab some dumbbells. What in the world is that rug? Oh gods, it looks like a unicorn barfed on the floor after a full weekend rager. And we have the table. Well, we definitely need both of those. Oh. Oh, I hate that. I do need to do the next job to get a couple more points, but... Thankfully, it seems like with the free play, you get points. Yeah, hold on. We gotta get these bad boys put out. We'll start with the chair. So first things first, we have the wonderful plastic chair to match our wonderful plastic table. See, what's funny to me... Okay, here's the weird thing. So when we're in here just washing them, furniture works fine. Like, I could stand on this, no problem. It's just, it is just a normal chair. It doesn't do anything weird. It's just a chair. Like, it is just doing what you expect a chair to do. As soon as I go to put it out here, and I set it down, and it locks into place, suddenly it's got ice physics. I can't believe you would ask a snake to meow? But I do not meow, I hiss. I am a snake. That is what I do. Let's see. Okay, so we have got the table. Yeah, I'm a sea snake. I saved the meowing for the cats. True, cats can hiss too. But snakes don't really meow. Ah. Alright, hurricane table. This really does look like a hurricane hit it. Alright, and finally, the worst of them all. It... Why? Why? Why would somebody make this? Let alone, like... Ugh. Maybe this will be our mat for as people are coming in. Hello, welcome to the office. Behold the remnants of what happens when you grind up a Care Bear. I mean, I would say it's bullying if there was something left to bully. This looks like a crime scene. There's nothing to bully. I feel like I need to be surrounding this with caution tape. Avert your eyes, children. Yeah. Alright, stone circle. I mean, okay, I can see the appeal. It's just, it is really not for me. Specifically, the fact that it's the weird colors and the weird shape, those combined together just tell my brain, like, stain on the ground. This is something wrong. This is not a design choice. This is something inappropriate. But I'm already impressed. Not everyone can follow coordinates, you know. In fact, I can name 3 local power washers who can't. To fill you in, after those amazing monuments in the desert turned out to be linked to an ancient aquatic race, it suddenly dawned on us that this monument out in the national park might be linked to them in some way. I don't mind admitting that it's currently got me more stumped than the rooted remains of a felled tree, but like all things, it will only reveal itself once clean. Alright. Is this mayhaps lore? This very well could be lore. So what do you think? Any ideas what it might be? Park Ranger Adams, I literally just got here. You gotta give me a couple minutes to work first. No, it's too early. Thank you. Let me uncover some stuff first, then maybe I can tell you. So far, the most you're getting is unrendered Stonehenge. Alright. Well, these boxes are very satisfying to wash. Whee! Gotta clean off the different pillars. This really does have Stonehenge vibes, though. Curious for what purpose. If it does anything like the previous ones that are tied to this race, it'll do something once we finish cleaning it. Which may be a good place to end the stream for today. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Pop. Never hurts to... If you feel like you need to go to rest sooner, you know, don't feel like you've gotta wait. Kitty! Hello, Ulysses. There's a gnome over there just watching. I can see the top of his head. There's a weird thing with this game and garden gnomes. Get the carving. True, this one probably won't take me that long. Especially once I get to that central area is gonna make the time go by. I think I'm just gonna clean the tops of these and then I'll move to the... Hey. Wish, 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 wish. Wish, 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 wish. Alright. I mean, this place definitely gives ritual site vibes, though. Which will be interesting, because in the last game, we found out that this aquatic race worshipped the Power Washer like a god, thanks to time travelers telling them to. So who knows? This might be an altar to us. Unlikely, but possible. Ooh. But yeah, we're already up to 25%. We are human, as far as I'm aware. Basically, the time travelers went back in time and convinced an ancient race to worship us like a god. So it's not necessarily that we are actually a god, it's that they managed to convince a bunch of people in the past that we are. Like the whole joke of going back in time to the medieval era and showing them Doritos, or a Roomba, you know, or something like that. They basically did that, but with a power washer. But also, okay, you know what though? You do bring up a good point, if only because we are always seen in our suit. Like, we're never shown without our power washing suit on. Like, to the point where we have a picture of our character's high school graduation and our parents showed up to our high school graduation also in power washing suits. With, like, a drawn-on mustache and stuff. So you know what? You know, maybe we're not human. Maybe we just happen to look like a power washer, but we're actually an alien race. You might be onto something there, Sheepy. That, you know, for this game, would not be out of place. Not much to them, is there? Not gonna lie. I was at least hoping for the odd sentence here and there. Still, two ideas spring immediately to mind. It is really funny because the messages in this game are tied to your percentage in the level, usually either on the 10s or 20s. Like in the previous game, it was always 20, 40, 60, 80% completion. You got new messages from your client or from other people. And it just means that sometimes they'll be like, you know, I think there's 2 ideas for what could have happened at this particular site. Okay, what are those 2 ideas? I'm not gonna tell you because you're only 44% of the way through the level and you need to get to at least 60. What? What? Why is that your judgment call for continuing a conversation? How do you even know that I'm that far into the level? I mean, I send the video of when I'm done, but I'm not well, okay, hold on a second. In-game, I'm not live streaming. So I don't know, I guess it's just implied that every single one of my clients is just stalking me and just like, all right, 59, 59.5, 60, 60%. Keep typing. Type it. Send. Okay. All right, we can chill until 80%, boys. We got a ways to go. Yeah, it's a bit nicer on shorter levels because you can kind of get the messages to stack on top of each other. Hey, if you need to go take a rest, then go take a rest. That's totally fine. It's been really nice having you for most of the stream, Sheepy. I'm glad you were finally able to catch one. But yeah, yeah, so tomorrow I'll be continuing Deltarune, so I should be finishing up Chapter 1. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to have you tomorrow. I'll be looking forward to it. Yeah. I'll definitely get some sleep. But have a great night, Sheepy. Ideal 1, we're looking at an ancient form of the floor is lava. Folks would stand on the columns and try to knock one another off their perches. Goodness knows what with, but if I had to guess, I'd say salmon. A 30-pound salmon would knock anyone off their perch. Bye-bye. Have a good night, Sheepy. And sleep well. Try not to let the cockroach mafia take too many of your light switches. Wait. This particular color with the orange that I use to see things means that it is really difficult to actually see where dirt is on this stone. I'm sleepy because I always make sorts before I go. In that case, I shall continue to talk about the fact that the park ranger immediately thought that this place was the floor is lava, and that the people would knock each other off with 30-pound fish. Why is that your first assumption? Of all the things that you could have possibly thought that this could have been, sundial, ritual site, that is tanning? Parkour course? Nah. Floor is lava. With fish. That sounds like projection, my guy. That sounds like something you want to be doing. That seems too oddly specific otherwise. Alright. Gotta finish up the last few areas. Definitely this level is significantly shorter than the farmhouse, which is much appreciated. Park Ranger idea 2, it's a practice table for some kind of primitive parkour! Hey! That was my idea! I called dibs on the parkour course. Presumably, remember these were merfolk, so presumably much more flexible than us. Their Omega-3 must have been through the roof. Park Ranger Adams, please stick around. Parky's great, but I like that there are other park rangers, and you seem like a nut in the best way possible. You seem like a doofus said most affectionately. Alright. There we go. Finally, we've just got the weird thing in the center. Which I'm purposely trying to save for last. Because, you know, it's the weird thing. Alright, weird little amoeba orb. I've nearly cleaned the rest of this area. It is almost time for you to reveal your secrets. Let's get some of this stuff first. What is actually dirty on this one? Okay, there we go. A little bit of dirt up there. Larch pediment. Well, I don't know about the merfolk, but I'm definitely using this as a purpose. Outer floor slab, one of you is not clean. You. There. Wait. There we go. Now we get to clean the dome! The dome, which is eerily similar to the tube, so it does make me a little nervous, but it is not the tube, it is the dome. Deputy Warden Indy is bagged a spark and rock climb and purple gosh darn it, not even a tree fuck at what climate in its current condition can you complain? Well, nothing's happened to it so far. That's a little sad. I was kind of hoping maybe something would go down. Well, it doesn't look like there's much to it after all, but it looks great clean just the same. Thanks for helping part cleaning. Or peak cleaning. Oh my god, that's worth oh, that's gonna be a pain in the butt. Alright. So I've currently spent 6,000, 7,800, 8,400. So 9,300 is what I've currently kind of got in the bank. in terms of what's on the Urban X, which is what I'm currently using. And then I've got another 1500. So I'm pretty close to being able to upgrade up to the next nozzle and be able to get, or up to the next power washer. But what have we gotten in the furniture catalog? I don't know. Oh, it was this. The retro lamp, I think, was what got added. Stylish retro lamp featuring an ingeniously curved parabolic stand and two-toed base support. They even mention that it's an easy wipe chair. Okay, so it is confirmed to be plastic of some variety. Glad that mystery is solved. Get people talking with this compelling and quite possibly unfinished tapestry rug. Quite possibly, you say? You don't mean mayhaps almost certainly? Alright, well that's probably going to be where I call it for stream for today, because the next level looks like it's going to be an absolute mess to get through. Usually when it's worth that much money, that means it is going to take forever. So I'm going to save that for another day, or potentially doing some stuff off stream. I'm not entirely certain yet. I know that there are other games that I would like to kind of fill this casual slot in that space where I'm not playing Deltarune, so I may end up saving this one as continued for stream, or I may end up just putting this one aside and playing some other games, going through the rest of the campaign, maybe getting to the point where it's just some of the more exciting levels, but who knows? Not entirely certain yet, but until then, we're just gonna wrap things up for tonight. I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. Take it easy. Chill. Go get some sleep if you need it. Or just relax. I hope you had a fun time here. Nice, relaxing time. And I hope to see you again soon here at Seri Seas. Bye-bye, everyone!